gray skies, there was a small kingdom you may recognize, of long summer nights and short winter days, a place poor in sun but rich in many ways. Second happiest of all, and free care of health and a mighty tax rate to help spread the wealth. Here, fricadella is a national dish, and there's a strange affinity for black licorice. The air was crisp and the waters pristine, so clear naked swimmers could easily be seen. Parks were plentiful and chock full of deer and somewhat feral children from Bornholms near. We come across two characters equal in heart, for in this land gender equality is parcel and part. A maiden most brave and more importantly able, and an organic farmer who worked farm to table. The maiden, a swimmer, was dismayed when she found litter and debris in the cold Earson Sound, and the farmer, so reliant on the health of his lands, saw the strain of the kingdom's increasing demands. Now, the two were well-read and internet connected, and notice it wasn't simply their land affected. For the elders of all knowledge sang a horrible song of strange global happenings and things gone all wrong. There was word from faraway kingdoms and lands of freak weather changes and desert-eating sands, of mudslides and heat waves and blizzards in June, of ozones depleted and clouds of monsoon. For those in the know reached a terrible conclusion. They'd been under the spell of a disastrous illusion. Resources they'd always assumed were renewable, it seemed self-replenishing, just wasn't doable. But who was responsible? Who gets the blame? Meet our villain, the green scaly breather of flame. How to stop a dragon, the two worriedly wondered, from feasting upon the earth which it plundered. Now, the two were ambitious, determined, and clever, yet dragon hunting is a dangerous endeavor. How would they know where to begin at all? How? Well, they realized they had to start small. So the maiden began carrying a tote most reusable when she battled Netto manners most unexcusable. And the farmer did his part by cycling to and fro, yet still the dragon's hunger seemed only to grow.
What more can we do?
The maiden did ask.
We are but two, it's a formidable task.
What we need is a hero to save the day. A hero to chase this dragon away.
So they journeyed to a summer house with 3 tiny rooms, and there met 3 witches shaking out their 3 brooms. The witches were wise, as women generally are, and could sense our protagonist had traveled afar. The 2 cried, ringing their winter bike bells, holding their noses against witchy brew smells.
Which direction do heed? It's a hero we need.
Brave of heart, kind of soul, and if you can, with great speed.
The witch stirred the cauldron through a miasma of smoke, and cleared her young witchy throat once 'fore she spoke.
Double, our lands are in danger. You must look to the west for the help of a stranger. A land of big sky, and even bigger in heart. A land with a leader who will set them apart. A land which will act as a beacon aglow.
She was speaking, of course, of the hero Trudeau. Another witch stepped forward and parted the haze and held their eyes in her wise witchy gaze.
Devil, these lands are in trouble, and we hate to burst your cauldron bubble. But the earth's resources were not built to last. You must find a way to make sense of mistakes of the past.
The The third witch came forward and spat in the pot. A brew meant for drinking, this was definitely not.
So now into the pot as best we are able. Coffee, fair trade, organic of label.
And a word rose above, a word they could see. Here is your answer.
What now?
The farmer asked, scratching his head. A newfangled word which witch had said? The third witch sighed deeply, head in her hand.
It means you need to stop screwing with the lad.
The dragon!
They cried, for every story needs a hater, a bad guy, a villain, a Voldemort, a Vader. The witch spoke in riddle, dark and mysterious, in hazy witch words that weren't entirely curious.
You will find the dragon when your eyes see clearer.
You'll find the dragon when you look nearer.
The two biked back to share what they'd learned with the queen, a good woman who was most concerned. Royal architects were called to design a grand plan to help deter the dragon from destroying their land.
We will build a glass castle,
They cried.
mighty and green, on the banks of the water, where a peak will be seen. In the middle of much emptiness, we will proudly stand, a beacon exchange for all in the land. In the harbor,
Said the maiden.
nothing out here.
The architect winked and said,
Wait, continue here.
so the castle was built to dizzying height with glass gray and green to catch all the light. You see, though the sun often liked to play shy, there was enough for 10% of their energy supply. Cried the maiden.
How clever of me!
And they danced round the towers with joy and with glee. The castle doors would be opened for near and for far, for travelers on bicycles, S-trains, and car. The clock counted down to the opening day. From Holta they traveled, I've heard some say. In the spanking new atrium, the witches sipped brew. They looked round and sputtered.
There's more you can do.
Greenhouses and 10 plants which will flower. Only this way you weaken the dragon's fierce power.
Fundraise for learners to come and to teach how to thrive far beyond the dragon's long reach.
The farmer cried.
How to pay for it all?
I know
The maiden cried.
the house the grand wall.
By the way, what is in that ghastly concoction?
Witch's brew, you like it? You can get it at auction.
Invite all the citizens to eat, drink, and dance. Perhaps they'll donate their gold if given the chance.
Have them gusty up nice and style their hair. I will explain them to all why we invited them there.
Though the maiden and the farmer were leading this story, the real heroes do not always seek glory. The two serve to illustrate what we can do, but the real hero of this story, if you like it, is you. You see, if you want clean water to swim in the buff, a reusable tote is good, but not nearly enough. If you want to pass down the earth to your kin, we must all dig down deep and find ways to pitch in. You can make a difference. You can change the game. It's a neat trick of tale when villain and hero are one and the same. The moral of this story has rhyme and has reason. Sustainability must weather all storms in each season, not just in towers with glass green and gray, but in making better choices starting today. For the witches said it best, as witches often do.
The care of this land is up to me and to you.
So take their witchy cauldron warnings to heart and find a way to do your small part. Thank you.